It's that time, everyone.
Why couldn't
For everything that is going to happen on screen and come out of our mouths, especially dirty things, I am not sorry.
Yeah, this section.
Yeah, this is the moment that everyone recalls, like, unanimously in a very negative light.
Welcome to the shit show, ladies and gentlemen.
In one of the coolest looking environments that we don't get to explore for shit.
Right? This is like demonic camera show.
Yeah, it's the underworld's red light district.
Giant hell monkeys. They'll cream us if we get too close. Quick, take me over to that phone.
Right now?
Trust me, G.
Time for the demon sex line.
Thanks for calling Angel Kiss, sugar. I'm not wearing anything but a smile. How about you?
Oh my god, 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 Shawik!
Now that is a big boner. All right, Johnson, let's take this pole for a stroll.
Subtlety was never this game's strong point. Then again, neither was
Subtlety.
Neither
Subtlety was never a consideration.
Yeah. Then again, neither was this sub-Panzer Dragoon bullshit.
Jeez. Sub-Panzer Dragoon bullshit is insulting to a Panzer Dragoon.
Right.
But no, this is just like... Yeah, this is just a shooting gallery with, like... It feels designed to make you feel way more, like, tense and kind of, kind of anxious than it really deserves to.
Yeah,
because you essentially switch between three screens in a way. Like, you're changing your views, but you don't, like, whichever street you look down, that's the only one you're able to see.
It's a glorified turret section, except the aiming reticle feels like it's strapped to the back of a walrus riding a fucking blue whale. It's...
Yeah.
This is just everything wrong with mid-2000s action games, except everything's not brown, which is the one saving grace.
Yeah, and even then, most other turret sections feel better than this one, because it's not this... Because you're not, like, locking yourself into three preset views. Like, in those, you generally have a lot more control, and therefore you feel like you have, like, way more of an ability to, like, get a sense of your surroundings, whereas this just gives you fucking tunnel vision.
You're also, usually in those kind of turret sections, the music doesn't make you want to kill yourself. And the enemy variation is better than, what do you call him, what was the guy from Resident Evil 5?
Oh, the El Gigante.
Yeah, it's not El Gigante's cousin who's just really into cybergoth stuff.
Yeah. Also, yeah, you're gonna have to see, like, how I unfortunately died only once on each of the three stages of this section. Yes, that's right. This platform is not the only time we have to whip out the big boner.
Oh,
Game
no.
makes us fucking do this shit 3 times.
They rub the big boner in your face until you love it.
Yeah.
Except
and
you
even
never love it.
Quick, G.
Yeah. And even how it tries to break things up as we go to the next section is... Yeah, it's also a whole other level of weird.
Yeah.
So time to go through the big gaping vagina portal.
Hey, everyone.
And...
You put up with that shit, so we assume that you're all straight males playing this, right? Right, guys? Right?
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm gonna out myself so much if I say this.
It's... Like, I don't care about fan service or nudity or whatever. It's just... This is just done so poorly.
But it's more like... I have a thing for giantess. I can admit that. But this is not the time or place for it. This just feels awkward.
You don't say.
Yeah. Like, a better version of this game would just scrap the big boner entirely and just have us, like, go through each street and alleyway of this red light district and be, like... And just, like... not to, like, the same level of, like, shallowness, but at least, like, commit even further just due to, like, the weird, creepy hell sex shit.
Yeah, a better version of this game would essentially be Resident Evil 5. Where...
Yeah.
You know, yes, you're fighting the El Gigantes, but you're able to run around, there's environmental kills, all that kind of shit, rather than stand in place with
interesting,
your...
more interesting eye candy to kind of go through because you're not standing in the same place.
Yeah, rather than just sit there going skeet, skeet, skeet with your giant demon cock.
Yeah, and here's something that, like, this section introduces that makes this even more annoying, is the stop, like, is like these sort of like stop barriers that kind of like further funnel around like the targets.
Yeah, and of course with these guys you can only hit them in the head, so if they're, or in the face I should say, so if they're not looking in your direction or they decide to tie their shoelaces or some shit, then you're sitting there waiting for something to happen.
Yep, and that's death number 2.
Ironic, because you do feel like an asshole playing this.
Hey.
Hey, I'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, hey.
Well, at least no one said rim shot after that.
Yeah, I
Too
like
much?
Wahey way more. As a sort of reaction to those kind of dumb jokes.
Ba ba da ba ba ba.
Yeah, just giant Monty Python foot Terry Gilliam shit just crushes this entire video. This show's over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've basically seen everything that this section has to see, so, you know, might as well skip forward about 10 minutes.
Yeah, more big boner shit, another, like, quote-unquote hilarious death scene, more giant Paula.
Yeah. It's... As I said, I have no problem with fan service or nudity in games. It's how it's
Same.
done, and this is just done so gratuitously. It's not even funny.
It's
Look,
not.
You're walking over
Especially
a giant
when-
butt. Isn't this cool?
I mean, I've already said what I said.
Drawing a line under that. Moving on.
You know, maybe it would be less weird if it were actually different giants and not just your girlfriend over and over again.
Or if they were...
I think that's the part that makes it way too weird.
Or if they were like demons, because there are female
Yeah.
demons in this.
Yeah.
Of various types. Obviously not like the Sisters Grimm, because, well, that would be weird all on its own. But,
Oh yeah.
you know, at least do something interesting with it.
And here's the final section. We now have 5 screens to switch between instead of just 3. Just to make things even more, like, anxiety fueling. Because it's like, oh great, for every street that you're looking down, there are 4 that you can't keep an eye on, and you're wondering, fuck, are they getting closer?
And they start booking it. Like, there's a chance for them
they get fast.
Yeah. Like, in earlier stages, there's a possibility that they'll start running, but at this point,
See, that was
them
real
can.
fucking fast.
Yeah. And it's completely random, which makes things even worse.
Yeah.
Because you can be like, that was what stopped me when I started playing it. Was I'd be doing perfectly fine, and then one guy would just come out round the corner and just beat me down. And I was like, no, I've had it. I am not having fun with this game anymore. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's for this reason that after I finished like recording the footage for this LP, I was like, you know, maybe I'll try like another playthrough on a higher difficulty, give myself more of a challenge. But then I immediately remembered this shit, and I was like, oh right, no, fuck that.
That funnily enough happened to me with The Evil Within, because I was replaying it before the sequel came out. And I was like, yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. And then I started replaying it. Every 5 minutes was like, oh god, not this shit again. I hated this part the first time.
Oh, man.
I still say it's a great game, but there's so much bullshit in it.
I say it's not. It was definitely way worse when all you had was like the shitty id Tech 5 optimizations and the letterboxing.
Oh yeah, could not play it back then.
But even then, it's like I'll admit I'm on the side of people who think that the sequel is way better.
It's definitely a different game, but I like the surrealness of the first one.
Not that I...
Yeah. Just the mansion level was like the one part. Well, no, that and like the third chapter, the one that was like supposed to be like the Ganado village, except not. Like those were like the only two parts that I enjoyed. And that village part was already in the demo, so it was like they knew that they had something good with that.
This. We're flat as paper. It's like we're in our very own toy theater.
No one toys with me.
Okay, so here's the other dumb thing about this act. This is technically Act 4 too. We didn't get to like the kind of the loading screen that shows the transition. But this is what we're going to be doing now that we are free of the big boner. We're now poor man's Gradius.
Kind of reminds me of the 2D sections in Alice Madness Returns. But
oh god, I forgot that that game even had those. Well, for what it's worth, I barely played that game.
I enjoyed it, except you read the art book and so much of it is, oh, and here's another really cool thing that we had to cut out.
Oh man, yeah.
It's heartbreaking reading it. But yeah, unlike the 2D sections from that game, this one, again, goes on forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's charming at first in, as you say, like a Terry Gilliam kind of style.
Yeah, just like the 2D kind of like paper puppet kind of like theater look to it.
Yeah, but round about this point you're like, so are we gonna do anything else? Nope, this is it.
Yeah, it's like, I'm glad you decided to stop with, like, the fucking, like, bad innuendo as a gameplay thing for a while, but I don't know if how much better this is or if it's really worth it.
Yeah, literal case of pick your poison.
Oh, yeah.
And there's an obligatory Ghouls and Ghosts reference, and that you take enough damage and you go down to your pants.
Yep. Which, to be fair, like, the references to that were already starting when we got to, like, the level transition screens.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that, in that context, it was totally fine, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But considering all of, like, the cheap, sex-filled, kind of, like, jokes and attempts at humor, like, this, like, kind of doesn't do as good a job.
Unfortunately, that was only a checkpoint rather than the end of the stage. We're not even close to the end.
Yeah, it's like fucking 6 Majin segments of Beautiful Joe are more engaging than this. But that's probably unfair to say as well, because Beautiful Joe as a whole is way better than this fucking shit.
Oh yeah, Beautiful Joe is a fantastic game.
Oh yeah. And it's also one of the few games in, like, Kamiya's, like, whole portfolio that actually does the genre shifts extremely well.
Yeah. Great soundtrack,
too. And Wonderful 101, to me, like, do those especially well.
Yeah, I never got to play Wonderful 101. But, what with it getting re-released, we'll need to make a point of picking it up.
Yeah. I actually, at the time of recording this, I actually got my backer code for the digital version on Steam last weekend.
Nice.
I played through some of that. Yeah, and like I'd already played the shit out of the Wii U version, so it was fun going back through it and kind of seeing the improvements or like just the kind of subtle changes that probably had to have been made since then.
Yeah. I'm not sure what they could have added, because most people seem to... the impression that I got was that it was pretty much spotless.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did, They did change some things to make it so that they all but outright give you the two most essential abilities that you had to buy in the shop.
Oh,
the dodge and block buttons.
Fucking Kamiya loves making you pay for your counter and your dodge. What, like, every platinum...
I mean, it's not even that,
game...
like, it's like the idea of like how the shop was introduced technically in like Devil May Cry 1, where it's like there's a whole lot of moves, but the cheapest move available and that you're guaranteed to afford by the time you get there is the stinger.
Yeah.
And like the whole point of it and why it's so cheap to begin with is that it's supposed to teach you the idea in a not so like direct way. Hey, there's a shop. You should probably check in here from time to time to buy stuff. And Wonderful 101 just like took it to the most ludicrous extreme of like, think about it, like over the course of like a decade plus, it went from go to the store to get like a new like attack for your melee weapon to go to the store to buy 2 moves that are essential to your core fucking survival.
Metal Gear Rising did the exact same thing. And not only did it make you buy your parry, it didn't tell you how to do it properly.
Well, I mean, like, the ground parry, you obviously have from the start. It's just you didn't have the air parry, which is one of those things where I feel in other games, you would assume that you had the air version off the bat.
Yeah.
But no, in the remastered version now, they've made it so that not only are, like, does the menu outright tell you, hey, there's a shop, go here, buy these 2 items, but when you go to buy the items, they are now at like 10 points apiece instead of 15k and 30k that they were individually.
Oh, that's
like
something at least.
Yeah, but that's actually more hilarious to me because when you finished the prologue and got to the store, you always had more than enough you always had more than 45k just to buy them anyway. So it was like they really wanted to idiot-proof the damn thing this time.
No, buy these fucking things. What is wrong with you? Have you eaten paint chips again?
Oh man. Yeah, let's just turn this into a Wonderful 101 LP. No, we can't, unfortunately, as much as I want. But I mean, fuck it, Chip Cheesem already did a pretty stellar job. But we have more important things to go to now. We have to go back to Kurayami Dance.
Welcome to the Wonderful 101 Remaster Cast.
Yep. Featuring Kurayami Dance Chapter 8, Union Hotel. Or as I like to call it, Flowers, Sun, and Rain. Because that's really what this place is. We're finally getting there. After we go across a stretch of highway that is, like, well, not even that so much. Like, we literally just, like, blast our fucking truck over the water straight to the island. Yeah, that's some strong nitro.
Yeah, that's not nitro. That's a fucking jet engine.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Akari.
Although,
which, by the way, I forgot to actually mention, like, when we met this character in the last video. Her name's Akari Tsukiyono, which I need to actually preface is a name we've technically heard before, but not, like, in the game that we're playing right now, but in the previous LP. If you recall from Travis Strikes Back, like the first visual novel section when we went to like meet that girl that was working at a gas station in Texas, one who called us a geek, some otaku dickhead with Gordon Gekko hair. Yeah, her name was Akari Tsukiyono.
Did she have an eye patch? I forget.
She didn't. No, she looked like a late 80s, like early 90s anime character, but like the use of the name very much felt like it was there as just like an Easter egg and not much more.
Yeah.
But that was fun when I read through this and I thought, oh, that name sounds familiar, and then it just hit me just like square in the head, like, oh god, damn it, Suda.
Everything comes back together.
Yep. So we're now at the island, which I guess is kind of like Lost Pass, except not really. It's got a hotel, a 7-star rating, which is, I'm sure, is clearly impossible.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain 5 is the maximum, but I'm not going to argue with them. Maybe it's different around here.
Yeah,
they can have up to 7 or I don't know 75. Why just stop there?
Yeah, like a billion.
Welcome to the Galaxy Star Hotel.
Yeah. Galaxy Star Hotel would totally be like a legit Suda style like location in a future game. Fuck, man, it just reminded me again of like No More Heroes 3 and like its galactic scale. Imagine if there was just like a Galaxy Star Hotel.
You just walk in and go, oh shit, and your head explodes from the glory and splendor of it all.
And all the bosses are just sitting there, it's like, what's up?
Someone gotta clean that up. Gosh, I swear it's like the 5th time today. Is this guy got fucking extra lives or something?
Yeah, and so, yeah. Kaido and Ikari are still getting all lovey-dovey, much to Chalia's chagrin.
Could not give less of a fuck.
It is still quite amusing how, just how quickly these two have bonded in such a way, and it's like, you're a psycho, but you also look like this hot, like, movie actress I know. Let's get married.
I mean, relationships have been built on less.
Oh yeah. And eventually Kaido almost lets slip by saying we and in referring to him and Chalia, and having to quickly save face. No, I was like, oh, by we, I you know, the hearse, like the car that I carry around with me, for the coffin.
Yeah, the little oh shit face in the corner is kind of cute though.
Yeah, Chalia just kind of mimicking as well.
Oh, you done it now.
You done fucked up. Yeah. And then after a brief inspection, it's all good. He's forgiven. Ikari definitely has a little bit of the crazy, and like, if there's one thing that Kaido and Garcia definitely have in common now, they do like it when the love of their life gets a bit loony.
She hasn't come after him with a knife yet, so.
Nah, if besides, we all know she'd come after him with a shotgun.
Oh, at the very least.
Mm-hmm. So here we are, Union Hotel, and we meet the manager, Mr. Edogawa. But as we all know, anyone who's played any Suda games, this motherfucker is Edo Macalister.
Oh yeah.
Look at that fucking shit-eating grin.
Just. The second your back's turned, he's
and the
gonna.
Goddamn butt chin. My God, it is sexy. What?
Just the second anyone turns their back on him, he's just gonna vanish and then show up with fresh towels out of nowhere.
Yep.
Because that's how Edo Macalister fucking rolls.
Mm-hmm. He knows the name of all of his guests, even your bag.
Charlie, getting seriously creeped out by him. I do not blame him.
Yeah, he's Chalia. As much of a weirdo he is, he continues to be like the voice and sense of reason.
Yeah, when your hallucinations are the voice of reason, something has gone very, very wrong somewhere.
Very wrong, yes. But at least this hotel, concerns about management aside, it looks pretty fucking baller.
An immortal level of service to both long and short-term guests.
Yeah. It's almost like this is a place where people have to come here to escape from their lives.
Like the Hotel California for weebs.
Fuck, now I'll never look at Flower, Sun, and Rain again.
Right?
The same way. That's literally the perfect description. It's Hotel California for weebs.
You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave.
Yep. Because the plane will always explode and you'll just wake up back in your room.
Maybe there'll be a crocodile this time. I don't know. Have some breakfast muffins.
And maybe a shit kid who needs to get his face decked.
Repeatedly, if possible.
I don't support child abuse, but obviously this is something that people who play Flower, Sun, and Rain will know. That kid fucking deserves it.
I don't support it unless it's really funny or necessary.
You do not casually break the fourth wall like that. It upsets Sumio deeply. Anyway, back to things here. Yeah, so we're at the Union Hotel, kind of a break from our job because Kaido just wants to have his wedding here. That's basically the whole point. And he's like, Charlie's wait, you know you have your job, right? The request for the castle? It's like, oh yeah, but I just need to get these documents signed. It's no big deal.
You know, they have email, fax machines. Could have done this, could have sorted all this out much sooner, but no.
Kai Kuragane, when he said he wanted to make a kingdom, he really wanted it to be as authentic as possible. I mean, when have you heard about an old-fashioned kingdom that had any faxes? Exactly.
Well, back in the 10th century, there was a Scottish king.
Okay.
I mean, I might be telling the truth. What do you know about Scottish history? Nothing. That's what you know. So there. I will not elaborate any further and just prove myself the victor.
Oh, well. And now we're ready for the weird shit.
Oh, yes.
Edo comes in with a gimlet. Chalia, as we have said, the voice of reason, telling Kaido not to drink the fucking thing, but he does it anyway.
And on the next page, the moon, which has never been a herald of bad times in a Suda game ever.
Nope, no it is not, whether it's, full, half, waning, new, or any manner of color.
Or looking like the fucking Death Star 2 in this one.
Oh yeah. or like 50% of it has been fracked already.
Yeah.
Because apparently Tim Curry, was wrong when he was going to escape to the one place not corrupted by capitalism.
Yeah, well, it wasn't at the time, but, done fucked up now.
It's ruined now. Yeah. But yeah, Kaido wakes up now. His room's all dark. Awakes to quite a sight. Not quite. Obviously it's white stained with red.
Yeah.
Which is that obviously has pretty serious implications in Japanese culture or at least East Asian, because I want to say that it's interpreted the same way in places like China and whatnot. The whole white stained with blood is like a sign of betrayal.
Yeah, that's not something I'm too familiar with, but
yeah,
it just always makes me think of Kaede Smith. So
yeah, I think for me what brought it to my mind was the Camilla smiles, which were the same kind of color scheme, and the fact that those were the one smiles that did not attack you, and in fact they ran away because going near them and triggering them to run basically revealed a secret.
Yeah, what weren't they described in game as having betrayed the Heaven Smiles as well?
That is correct. Yeah, they're considered traitors within their ranks.
Yeah,
but yeah, this is not a Camilla smile. This is not Kaede Smith. This is Yayoi, who's currently hanging and knows Kaido because she's his ex.
Awkward.
That is the last person you really don't want to have show up when you've just decided on a person you want to marry.
You really don't want her showing up by her neck as well. I think that would be a bit of more of a dampener on things.
Yeah. So she's been hanging there in a bloodstained wedding dress, begging to be killed, of which Edogawa obliges by becoming... Fuck, I can't believe I'm blanking on... Scissorman, yes, I was thinking the clock tower, but I knew it was something like that, it was so on the nose, but yeah, he goes all Scissorman and just cuts off Yayoi's head.
Da-dun, shink, dun-da-dun, shink.
Cuts to Kaido passing out again at the site, waking up, thinking, boy, that sure was a bad dream, I'm glad to be awake now.
Sour Flower, Sun and Rain. Sour Flun and Rain. Yeah, that one. Fuck it, I'm owning it. This is Sour Flun and Rain territory now.
Yeah. But alas, Yayoi's still there. And Kaido's very desperately trying to pretend to be passed out. It's nope, not awake. This isn't real. I am totally asleep now.
I'd love to say I haven't tried that defense in the past. I'd love to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm unconscious now. Goodbye.
Cut to Kaido waking up again, this time with Yayoi not hanging from a noose this time, but just the two of them sitting on the balcony and having something close to a normal conversation this time.
I guess, compared to the last two.
I guess, yeah. I mean, they'd have to get caught up at some point, and like they haven't seen each other in 5 years is the thing. Like they were sweethearts in high school.
So what have you been doing? Well, you know, nearly killed myself in a bike accident. What have you been doing? Just hanging around.
Yeah. Also a nice Killer 7 reference in one of the panels, like on this page when they're talking.
Dan and
Emir
Parker.
Yeah,
that's right.
Back on the Union Hotel hit. Yeah. I'll admit, I actually did not realize that was like the Easter egg until we were just recording and I was looking through the pages. I have no idea how that... Because I caught all the other Killer 7 references that we had.
Yeah,
but,
I thought the shape of the island at the start might have been something, but lo and behold, there has to be one every chapter.
Yep, pretty much. So yeah, and Yayoi is already well aware now, just like everyone else in this kingdom, of Kaido going to 300 on his bike. And apparently even that whole daredevil attitude was still present in Kaido back when they were dating.
Yeah, he has a reputation for not being safe on bikes.
Yeah, and it's like not being safe on bikes seems to be the only time where he feels truly happy, as we now have the second time in this whole story where we see him being extremely happy looking.
Yeah, just being like, you know what's really cool? Almost dying in a bike accident. That's fucking awesome.
Going super fast.
At least the second time he didn't have any passengers with him.
Yeah. And hence, Chalia's right to also call him out here. Is like, dude, you're the fucking worst.
Dude, what is your
Why
problem?
would you knowingly do this dumb shit with your girlfriend and like get her sent to the hospital with you? You asshole.
And made her unfit to be a bride, which had different connotations the last time I checked.
Ooh, yeah.
But eventually she just goes, you know what? Fuck it. Head off.
And yeah, I'll never forget you. No, not. I won't forget, and I won't forgive you. Now I'm back to hanging from the noose. Enjoy.
Man, that was a weird dream. It's not a dream. Ah, god damn it.
Yeah, it's... We're not kidding when we say this is Flower, Sun, and Rain is all hell. Even if you ultimately don't like the game and you've not... don't think like the game is something that you would find particularly fun, if you've not played it or seen it, you at least need to see it.
Read a synopsis. It makes about as much sense in context.
True.
So naturally he thinks, okay, so is this some kind of time loop? Are you a ghost? And she goes, kinda, but...
Yeah. And like apparently she can't really die or move on unless Kaido's the one to kill her, which, you know, that's real fucking heavy.
Well, I mean, he nearly killed her once. Really, he's just finishing the job.
Yeah. Pretty much. So, yeah, after this series of, like, repeats and, like, pseudo-dreams, seeing the same horrible shit, Kaido finally just decides to go to Edogawa and just, like, look, is this really true?
Oh,
and
yeah.
then this leads to the Forbidden Door.
Oh, no, wait, that was Killer 7. Sorry.
Yeah. And it gets opened by a Harry Potter spell.
Read another book! Jesus Christ.
To be fair, I think this is really like the only Harry Potter reference to be made in this entire fucking manga. And we've already had Gundam, you know, like a big lengthy discussion on that.
Gundam, wrestling, probably a bunch of others that we're forgetting right now.
There's a bit of talk about Easy Rider at the very beginning.
That's right. Yep.
So yeah, we go inside the Forbidden Room, which looks like an Evil Dead cabin.
Yep, just what I was thinking. It's any kind of wood room, like wood oak room with a stag head, and I'm like, nah, Evil Dead. I'm out.
Yep.
I've seen this movie.
And in the corner, we have a giant surgery machine. And guess who's waiting for us?
Mask D. Smith.
And Yayoi. Although, yeah, Mask D. Smith has, he's really let himself go after he quit being the main event.
Yeah, now we just headbutt scalpels.
Mm-hmm. But no. Unfortunately, this is not Mask D. Smith as much as we all wish it was. This is Dr. Moonlight. A luchador doctor, which I think is probably the raddest concept to ever exist in this manga thus far. The idea of just combining those two professions.
I see you were unwell. I know I will powerbomb your cancer.
Yes!
I will German suplex the sickness right out of you. Thudunk. You were cured, but you are now a cripple.
So yes, as it turns out, you always, I guess, pretty much been going back here and getting resuscitated every time after, like, the hanging, like, fully kills her, or she decapitates herself, or whatever manner of horrible, like, death occurs.
I think Dr. Moonlight's just in the corner there, hammering the button on a GameCube pad to resurrect her.
Oh, yeah.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-bab.
Oh, man. Hammering that button when you're playing Killer 8 mode with young Harmon is the fucking worst.
Nope. That's why I always played Con if I had the chance.
Oh, hell yeah.
Not just because he's
Especially
like one of the best characters.
Well, yeah, not just because, you know, he gets, like, a lock-on ability that automatically locks your aiming to the weak point when you can't see it.
Yep.
It's like a godsend on that fucking mode.
Seriously.
But yes, as Edogawa begins to explain after we've seen this particular site, Union Hotel is designed to be the highest level of heaven and takes death lightly in a very different way compared to what we've seen previous.
Yeah, previously they didn't care about life. Here they just don't care about death. Just respawn.
Yeah, it's like death is the ultimate consequence for the slightest screw up in Tanaka County. Here it's like death is just only like a mild impediment for continuing to have fun.
Yep.
Oh, it's like, you went overboard? Okay, I guess I'll just spend a few minutes getting put back together. Now I can go back to it. It's like this area specifically and the way it treats death feels more like a direct confrontation of who Kaido really is. Like everyone in the kingdom knows about him and how he went to 300. Everyone calls him Kamikaze. This is like the core of the kingdom that basically took what they assume was his mentality at the time and turned it into a fucking lifestyle.
Not much more to say than that. I mean, it's bad enough when any kind of philosophy is adopted statewide. But
yeah,
when it's that kind of mental hang-up, no real way to say it, yeah, shit gets weird fast.
It does, yeah. Especially when, like, regardless of whether it's you just resort to death and have that be it forever, or you resort to death and just get used to the feeling because there's no consequence, it's like both approaches to that heavily diminish, you know, like what that ultimately means.
Yeah.
And no matter the context, Kaido is very unhappy here, clearly. This is not how he wanted to spend his wedding.
Especially not with his ex constantly resurrecting in the corner. That's just awkward.
Yeah. And I especially wouldn't want a wedding of any kind where Edo is just hanging around just in the periphery.
This weird butt chin that kind of looks like a book when shadows are falling on it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is... I definitely think, at this point in the story, the Union Hotel Saga, as I am going to call it, is probably my favorite part of this, of Kurayami Dance. The whole Tanaka chapters were pretty powerful when we first did them, but this is... this definitely gets into one thing that I like a lot more in regards to how Suda does his protagonists, and that is, this feels way more confrontational to who Kaido is than he tries to let on to everyone else.
Plus, it also feels more like Suda.
It does, yeah. I even mentioned last video where, if Kurayami Dance had actually been made into a game, I imagine, the style it would have gone for would have been very similar to Flower, Sun, and Rain.
Yeah.
And just the general vibe, location, everything that we've seen in this chapter just further reinforces that belief.
Except you would have been able to shoot some punk kid in the face. Let me have this, please.
No, shooting's too much. Just gotta just kick his head like a soccer ball.
He'll be back tomorrow. It'll be like it never happened.
Yeah. No, even better. Find that one soccer-loving asshole in the Flower, Sun, and Rain Hotel. Take a soccer ball and just kick it at the fucking kid every time he opens his mouth.
No,
and then steal the one person's bike repeatedly.
We're trying an experiment. We're seeing how many footballs we can fit in a child's head. If it's more than one, it's a success.
Yeah. Oh, man.